Hello everyone and welcome back to Woodfiresmoke. I'm James Braden and today we're going to cook a free-range whole chicken that was actually raised by a local farm here that it seems to be turning out some beautiful birds. This one right here I absolutely love. Actually, I went ahead last night. You can either brine your bird in a brining solution. I prefer dry brining it. So what I did last night in preparation for this, all you do is open your bird up, set it on a wire rack over a pan because there could be some juices leaking out of it. You put just a real thin layer of salt all over the bird, all the way around. And normally I would have gone ahead and put my seasoning on here, which when I smoke chickens and actually turkeys too, most of the time I actually love using Tony's Szechuan's seasoning. It's just fantastic, I think, on smoked birds. No sense in spending a lot of time or money making up your own rub when you can just pick up a bottle of Tony's. Okay, there's a couple of things that we're going to do to this bird to prepare it for smoking that's going to help make it cook more evenly, and that's spatchcocking it. So to spatchcock, you're going to need a good pair of kitchen shears, a knife, boning knife, chef's knife, whatever will work fine, and cutting board. So let's get started on this guy. Whoa, that must have been some happy hens on that barnyard. Oh wait, okay, that's the neck. Never mind. Pope's nose is on the other end. You're going to turn this thing over. Take your shears, your cooking shears, and just start right down the side of the neck, we'll say, and you're just going to cut right along. We're going to remove this spine. Every now and then it'll get a little bit tough. You get into some heavier bones there. It may take a little pop there. There we go. But you get on through it. Spin it around. Grab the other side of the Pope's nose here, which is the chicken's tail, and head back the other way. Right in here, you're going to find a little bit tougher bone, but once you get through that, it's child's play. You just snip right on through it. We're going to lay that to the side. You can save that and use it for stock or whatever you want. Now, to open this bird up, we're going to look inside here. And if you look right here, you can see it's the tip of the cartilage, which is the breastbone for the chicken. And we want to cut through that. We want to open that up. Just a little cut. And that'll help open that bird up. And you can actually, if you want to, you can see here's that cartilage that separates the breast. You can cut down either side of that, and you can pull that whole piece out, and then you're going to have the breasts themselves that are going to be just easily ready to slice up. But I think that it draws the breasts out a little bit, so I like to leave that in. If you see right there how that just popped right open. So now we're going to remove this tray. And we're going to look the bird over. We're going to look for some skin that we don't want. Normally, actually, this bird was processed beautifully. There's not a whole lot of skin on here. There'll be skin hanging off here and off in other areas. This is skin that goes over the breast meat, so I'm not going to bother that. So right now, this bird is ready to season up. Let me get another pair of gloves on. When you're handling chicken, you always want to make sure that you use gloves. Just for food safety reasons. I think pretty much everyone is well aware about that, but never hurts to remind people. And also, while I'm doing this, just a little helpful hint here. If you're working with a cutting board, put a damp towel under it. It helps keeps your cutting board steady. It's not slip sliding around all over the place, and it just makes it a lot safer for you. Now, I already put salt on this, so normally I wouldn't have to go back and put any salt on it. I would just go ahead and put the Tony's on there, but I like a little extra, so I'm going to this right here is going to be the bottom of the bird. So you always start seasoning on your the bottom part, and you want to season your presentation side last. So I'm going to put just a little bit of salt on here. Make sure I get those wings. One of my favorite parts. I want to make sure I get them. There we go. A little bit of pepper. Dry hand, wet hand. Season high so it's good and even. No clumps. Hold that wing out. Get a little bit extra. And the Tony's seasoning has salt, pepper in it, but I just like a little bit of extra on my birds. Okay, now let's go ahead and get this thing seasoned up. Make sure you get in all the little nooks and crannies. Get that wing. And the purpose too for the dry brining, the reason I prefer dry brining, just to let you know, is when you're smoking poultry, it has a tendency to have rubbery skin. So dry brining helps with that to keep that skin a little bit crisper, and makes just for a better overall smoked bird. And the reason we want to spatchcock the chicken is, as you can see now that we flipped it over, it lays flat. Your thighs, legs, breasts, everything are, you can see they're even. So it helps the bird to cook more evenly. Now, make sure you get up under the armpits. Get back with my Tonys. And I like to go a little heavy with this because this is some good stuff. Get under the armpits with the Tonys for sure. Season it up under the legs. Make sure you get up under there. Season high once again so it seasons evenly. And I let this bird dry brine for 24 hours. You can let them go easily for 48 hours. And what you're looking for is a translucent skin that's actually tight and drawn up. This one, I would really like to have gone another 24 hours on it. But we have a video to make, people to feed, so there we go. That is a beautifully spatchcocked chicken. So now, back to the tray that we actually dried this bird out on. I'm going to cook it on the same tray. Just leave that in there, just to make it a little bit easier to handle. Pick it up, set it over onto the tray, and now we're going to tuck the wing tips back up under the bird here, because we don't want those to burn. And it looks like he's kicked back out on the beach getting a suntan. Flatten it out again about the best you can. And today we're cooking on the RT680. I'm using, whenever I cook poultry of any kind, I usually like to use a mild nut wood, so I'm using pecan. And I also like to mix it with a little bit of a fruit wood, so I have some apple pellets in here. So it's a mixture of pecan and apple pellets. And I'll start out at 200 degrees for about the first 45 minutes. And then when I come back, I'm going to crank this thing up to 300 degrees to finish the bird off and crisp up the skin. But starting it out at a lower temperature actually helps the bird to absorb a little bit more smoke flavor. So let's get this bird on. And we will check back in about 30-45 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. It's been about an hour and 30-45 minutes, and I already temped the bird and it's ready to come out. Let's see how it looks. And that looks pretty amazing. As you can see here, we're losing light, so I think we're going to go inside. We're going to let this rest for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to break it down and see what it tastes like. We've left the bird rest for about 10 minutes. And one thing I remember that I forgot to mention is before you put the seasoning on, you want to spray it with some kind of a cooking spray. I do anyway. And I use olive oil spray because I think it's a little bit healthier, but you can use like a butter spray, Pam, um, olive oil, just anything that you want to use. And it just helps brown the skin. And I went back and did that after we got through shooting the videos where I put it in there. So now let's break this bird down and see how we did. I like to start with the leg and the thigh. Like a cut through here. Oh yeah, boy, that came across there. Really nice. Just find the joint, cut through. Same thing on this side. Look how juicy that bird is. Find the joint, cut through. And I'm going to, let's see here. Pulled a little bit of skin off there. I didn't even do that, but still it's going to look all right. Pull the wing back. Find your joint. Come on now, where's it at? Cut through. And actually, you can just pretty much break the wings off. This is my favorite part right here. And then we're going to remove the breast. Find the keel or the breastbone. Cut down. Man, this thing is so juicy. I want to have a hard time keeping it on the board. And I like to come up the bottom and remove that whole breast. Lay it to the side there. Over here, the same thing. Cut down. Cut across. And if you'll remember that chicken, we'll call it a neck, that I had earlier, I will take it later on and I'll just set this over to the side here. And I will take that carcass and I will make some chicken stock. I'll roast the bones down and then put it in a pot with some, let's plate her up here, with some vegetables and cook it down, make some stock, and save it for cooking some soup or whatever else I want to do. Maybe for Thanksgiving because it freezes really well. There we go. And I just leave the quarters together because I just love how that looks. Those thighs and quarters. And then the wings at the top. Everything is better with a little bit of garnish. And since this is a Cajun dish, we're going to use some cilantro. Sprinkle it on. And there you have it, folks. Smoked Cajun chicken. Now comes for the most important part of all, taste. Let's see how we did on that skin. You hear that crunch? Skin is seasoned perfectly. Meat is juicy. And the skin, of course, you can see there is bite through and crispy. I don't think you can ask for anything better. Folks, if you like what we're doing here, I hope that you will like this video and consider subscribing to my channel. It helps me produce more videos in the future. Until next time, keep that smoke rolling.